AFTV, Fulham 2, Arsenal 1. Laurie, terrible day at the office today.
Oh, absolutely. I think the only good thing I can say about that is that before the game, I had no plans to go out for New Year's Eve.
Come with me if you want.
I'm going through my phone, contacting friends and family, saying, "Look, what can we do?" Because I'm just so depressed right now. Yeah, man, that was a poor day at the office. I think that was comfortably our worst performance or non-performance of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of lost for words. And people that know me know that I'm normally quite good with words, but after today, man, I'm just struggling.
Absolutely, I can agree with that. Look, we'll start from, even before kickoff, some of the changes that were made today. Obviously, I'm sure I saw the smile on your face when Eddie Nketiah's name was mentioned, but even, the likes of Kivior having to come into the lineup due to Zinchenko, I think being out injured with a calf injury, so rest up Zinchenko, get well soon, of course. What did you make of the lineup from the start?
I got to be honest. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think as you said, the Kivior's inclusion in the team was because Zinchenko was carrying a minor knock. So okay, that makes sense. I am an advocate for Eddie, in case you didn't know.
No, I didn't. Really?
Yeah, really. But even though I was pleased to see Eddie get the start, I was kind of surprised. But I wasn't hating on it because I thought this is an opportunity for Eddie to come in, hopefully get a goal or two, and show the manager that he can make a difference when he comes in the team. Unfortunately, that did not happen today. He didn't have any impact on the game. That's just being real. Although, to be fair to him, he didn't get any service. So
you say that, but 23 touches, and I think 23 touches at the time I checked. It was probably a little bit more after that, but 23 to 25 odd touches in the game.
Yeah, but how many of those was in the box?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
How many of those were him trying to get on the end of something? Because I was watching the game closely as you were, and I think you will agree with me that balls into the box in good areas was almost non-existent. But I tell you what, for me, struck me as I was watching that game. I mean, we actually made a decent start, got the goal, and then we just kind of fell away. For me, the lack of intensity today was palpable, and it quite shocked me. I mean, are they tired, physically or mentally? Do they not believe in what they're doing anymore? It just seemed to be energy was gone. We were lacking in intensity. We were losing tackles in midfield. We weren't threatening going forward. It seemed to be predictable, same patterns of play. We weren't getting behind them. It was just very disappointing. And I don't know what was going on today, but it was poor.
No, absolutely. And, 4 losses now this season. That's nearly as many as we got last season. I think in total in the league, we only had 6 losses and we're 2 away from that already. Realistically speaking, you can really only afford to lose 4 to 6 games in a season if you're going to seriously think about contending. Do you see this current Arsenal squad, obviously I know we've got the whole of January to come, but do you see this current Arsenal squad only losing 2 more games this season?
Well, if you're judging it by today and West Ham's performance, then obviously you're going to look at it and say the title chances look like they're diminishing. However, it could be just a blip.
Yeah.
Listen, there's going to be ebb and flow, and that's going to be the same for all teams. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Man City had lost a couple of games on the spin and were looking to all intents and purposes like they're going to struggle. And then lo and behold, they go away for the World Club Championship, which they won, and then they come back and they look really good. 2 wins in 2 and look good. So we could easily turn this around. Yeah. However, it was a little bit concerning, the lack of intensity. And like a lot of people, I think yourself, you made the point in your fan count, we're too predictable right now. We're not shooting on sight. We're not getting in behind defenders. There's so many things we could be doing better. It's actually quite worrying. Yeah. So maybe the game today has come at a time where they're going to get a few days off, regroup, come again, work on some different patterns of play, and then hopefully things pick up in the new year. But at the moment, we've ended the year on a poor note, it's got to be said.
Absolutely, and hopefully we can leave that in 2023, of course. The 2 goals that we conceded today, I know there's question marks about whether we could have done a little bit better for the first goal, which I believe we could have. That second goal especially, I think, is a massive defensive mishap. What did you make of the 2 goals we conceded today?
I agree. The first goal, I think it was Saka gets dispossessed in midfield. To be fair to Fulham, they worked the goal very well. Of course, yeah. But if you look at it, if you dissect it, there were a couple of errors made. The ball across the goal, Kivior misses his, I don't know what he was doing there, but he didn't make a connection, and then Jimenez, good finish, but he shouldn't even have got there. So that was disappointing. The second goal as well, in the box, very similar to the goal we conceded against West Ham, wasn't it?
Same person that kicked the ball into his own defender as well.
And I thought Gabriel was a bit off it today as well. There's a couple of passes that went astray from him that were literally unforced errors that could have caused us more of a problem. So, listen, man, I'm not just going to put it down to Gabriel, though. The whole team was off today. I can't think of Declan Rice being a possible exception and Raya. Everybody else was poor, literally, today. So it's very disappointing. We need to address it. We need to address it. I mean, we've got the transfer window starting in a few hours' time. Let's hope we're in the hunt for a striker, because if we're not, I'll be very disappointed. But even then, we've all spoke about possibilities of, or options of, the likes of Osimhen and Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney, but realistically, the chances of any of those
it's the
guys
January factor, isn't it?
Exactly. None of those clubs are going to want to let those players go. Brentford are on a horrendous run of form at the moment. It's relegation form. So you got a striker like Ivan Toney, particularly when they're missing Mbeumo and people like that. You're not going to want to sell him. Ollie Watkins, he's not going to leave Villa now to come to Arsenal. And Osimhen, I think he's just signed a new contract.
He has.
For his club, so...
Absolutely. And I think that comes with a £150 million release clause or something like that as well. So it's...
And then you got fair play, FFP to...
There you go. But obviously, something that we can consider here, you know, if any team that we're taking their striker could really do with a striker back.
I know where you're going.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Is that something that you would look down the line at, if it had to be done, you know, a cash plus swap deal, including Eddie?
So basically you're talking about Eddie going one way.
Eddie being used as a bargaining chip as part of the deal, Not even just Toney, but other options.
Okay. But you know what? We need a striker, man. It's becoming desperate now. I mean, we're creating chances. Not so much today, but, you know, the West Ham game is a perfect example. 30 chances created and no goals. 77 touches in the box, no goals. I think the first time that's been recorded since 2008-9 season. So
something like that.
There's clearly issues in terms of scoring goals. And as much as I love Jesus as a player, the man said himself a few months back that he's that scoring goals is not his forte, which is a bit of a bizarre thing to say, but nevertheless it is true. So we all know where our shortcomings are at the moment. That needs to be addressed. But I also feel that the manager has now got to start really analysing what we can do differently going forward, because as I said before, and you said, and many others have said, it's not rocket science. We are becoming far too predictable.
Of course.
And it makes teams easy to defend against us.
I think you've swayed away a bit from the question there, and I'm going to come back to it because I want to get a straight answer, Laurie. Would you use Eddie as part of a potential swap plus cash deal for another striker this January?
Yes, is my short answer. And the reason is because
I've got him to say it.
No, because you have to listen. To be fair to Eddie, though, he's a second striker, so I'm not going to pin it all on him. I mean, it's interesting that he came into the team today, and you're looking for him to make an impact. He didn't make an impact, but then guess what? Jesus came on. Did he make an impact?
No.
So I guess, you know, we got to be honest and say we have got problems up front that need to be addressed. Now, if it necessitates Eddie moving, I wouldn't want to see him go, because I do believe that there is a talent there. I like his attitude. It's not quite working for him, even though I think he's our second highest scorer in the Premier League this season.
I knew you'd find a way to get it in.
No, but that's facts, right? That's facts. But having said that, we need to address the goal scoring situation. If it means that Eddie has to go the other way and that would be the only way you can do it, then it has to be.